Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of Soldier Talk the Podcast. I'm your host, Staff Sergeant McPherson, and on this show we discuss military topics with current and prior service members. Today, Sergeant First Class Davis is going to show you guys how to apply a tourniquet. Okay, I'm ready, Sergeant.
All right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Like Staff Sergeant McPherson said, I'm Sergeant First Class Davis. We'll be going over tourniquet application. Right here, I have Sergeant Benson Vanga as my assistant. Right? And all you need is this tourniquet as your material. There's multiple types of tourniquets out there. What you'll mostly see for the United States Army will be a Cat 1 or Cat 2 tourniquet, but this is something a little bit different. We'll be able to provide the NSN to you guys a little bit later, so you can go ahead and get this tourniquet if you like. But for this one, you'll notice that there's a small tab there. What that indicates is that this tourniquet is for self-application. So that meaning when you bring it out of the packaging, you'll be able to apply the tourniquet to yourself. So whether you have an arm injury or a leg injury, for immediate first aid to yourself, you'll be able to apply this tourniquet with little to no trouble. All right. For Sergeant Benson Vanga, we're simulating that he has an injury to his left leg. And anytime you refer to the side of an injury, you're referring to the patient's side, right? So when I say left leg, we're referring to Sergeant Benson Vanga's left leg, not my left, right? So if I'm facing him, his anatomical left will be here. All right. So for this scenario, again, he has an injury to his left leg. I do have the self-application tourniquet, but it can be used on another individual. So I open my tourniquet up here. If I need to add more slack, I'll be able to release here. All right. Very important that you give yourself enough slack. That way, if the individual has an injury, you'll be able to place the tourniquet over the boot. All right. So in this scenario here, I'll make sure that I don't have any kinks. I'll come over to Sergeant Benson Vanga's boot, and then I'll ride the tourniquet all the way up. All right. If your casualty or your individual that's injured has something in their pocket, make sure you don't place your tourniquet over. All right. In most scenarios, what I would typically do is I would have the strap portion on the outside so I can get more leverage. But for demonstration purposes today, I won't need that much leverage because it's not a legitimate injury right now. Right. For him, I like to get it high and tight. This type of tourniquet is going to be considered a hasty. A hasty tourniquet is any tourniquet that goes over the clothing. All right. If I was going to do a deliberate, the injury would be exposed and it'd be about 2 to 3 inches above. All right. So I'd ride this tourniquet as far up as I can to the groin area, depending on where that injury is. But again, for that hasty tourniquet, I haven't identified where it is. I just see bleeding. All right. Once I get the tourniquet high and tight as high as I can get it, at that point in time, I want to take all the slack out. Once I get the slack out, I'll secure it to the Velcro portion of the tourniquet, and I'll begin to tie my windlass. Most training videos or training scenarios will tell you that you'll twist your windlass 3 times or until the bright red bleeding stops. Bright red bleeding is just an indication that it's an arterial bleed, which means that your casualty will bleed out a lot faster, right? So I'll continue to tie, and I'll place it over there, right? If it's a hasty tourniquet, and for this style tourniquet, rather, you'll see that you have kind of a different band to secure your windlass with. For a hasty tourniquet, you're not going to continue to twist until the bright red bleeding stops. What you're trying to do is get something to slow down the bleeding until you can get your casualty to cover, and then you'll reassess your tourniquet after moving your casualty to ensure that that tourniquet is in place and it's stopping the bleeding. Most of this training you'll see within all of your CLS training. You may see a different style tourniquet. You may get an injury on the arm, or you may have to do self-application. But all of these are very simple life-saving tips that can be taught to CLS or trained to you by your medic. Other than that, it's pretty cut and dry, and that's it.
Okay. There you guys go. So this has been another episode of Soldier Talk the Podcast, and I'll see you guys in formation.